Hello, welcome to Tarot and Attachments. My name is Erin Smith. I am both a professional tarot reader and an associate marriage and family therapist. And this coming Monday, we are going to be having a full moon in the sign of Aries. So I thought I would take this opportunity to consult the cards and look at the archetypal themes that are arising around this time. There's certainly a lot of turbulence happening in the world. So I'm just going to ask for insight or guidance around what would be most helpful for us to know, understand, or do in this time. So I'm going to go silent. I'm going to concentrate while I shuffle. I'm just going to say a prayer of these cards. Well, okay. So I would say that this is an opportunity for us to align ourselves with a bigger dream and one that is heart-centered. So aces are like the highest octave of an energy. It's like getting a divine download from the universe. And cups are referencing emotions, relationships, matters of the heart. They are soulful and expressive. They're heart-centered. And so this idea that there is a portal that's opening up that is available to us with this infinite flow of compassion, and that when we avail ourselves of this flow of energy and direct it towards a bigger vision of the world, of ourselves in the world, then there's no end to the benefit that we might be able to create by tapping into this divine flow. That I always say the Nine of Cups is like winning the tarot lotto. It's asking us to dream big because anything our hearts desire can and will be made manifest under the guise of this energy. It is possible to create a society of reciprocal love and care, where everyone flourishes simultaneously and not at the expense of a few. That there is this possibility of expanding the joy, the connection, the love in the world, in our personal lives and out in the collective. And the only way we can squander this energy is to not dream big enough. And because we are in uncertain times, and I will certainly say that whatever it is that we are seeing in the world today, it's tied to causes and conditions that came before. This didn't occur in a vacuum, that we are looking at, tyranny is the byproduct of scarcity and fear. People are looking for change and they don't quite know how to orient themselves. And so they're grasping for what they feel might secure them a modicum of whatever it is that they need in the world. But again, it's based on a false premise. The way that I describe the Seven of Pentacles goes like this. You have the soul of a poet, but you think to yourself, nobody makes a living being a poet. I have to be a banker. Instead, I have to do something that goes against the very essence of my soul's calling, because I live in fear that my own authentic self-expression is not enough to get my needs met in the world. I am clinging to this false sense of security by playing it small, by identifying with structures in the world, old ideas that tell me that in and of myself, I'm not enough. And so I'm going to live a false life. I'm going to align myself with the false sense of security. And in fact, what the Seven of Pentacles is saying, that when we do this, it actually keeps us from living a life that is richly resourced. We must, in fact, acknowledge this deeper soul calling to operate out of a love of humanity and trust that it is possible for us to abundantly get our needs met. So it means that we're being called to step into a more self-realized expression of our own creative power, to orient ourselves in the world towards that which we are passionate about, that we feel passionately. Wand energy is life force energy. There's a heat to it. Not so surprisingly, Aries is a fire sign, and it is very much exemplary of taking charge, taking that spark of life and running with it in order to create something powerful and solid. And so we have the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles asking us to assume the throne in our own lives, to be our own authorities in order to create the life that we wish to lead. And that this is a time of great transformation. Temperance is the alchemist card. And of course, alchemy is all about transformation. People think of it in terms of the alchemist transmuting base metals into gold. Well, this is a symbolic representation of transmuting our struggle into enlightenment, of transcending the small self and aligning with the bigger self in order to tear down these structures of tyranny that would have us give our power away willingly to become slaves to the false god. You know, the devil is really about learned helplessness. You can see quite clearly here, these figures are the lovers. And the lovers in tarot represent unity and wholeness, the perfect balance of masculine and feminine energy. And again, it is not related to gender. It is an energetic quality. It's an archetypal quality. The masculine is that which externalizes its will to take actions and create physical structures external to self. The feminine is a receptive energy. It has the ability to take in insight, to hold space for things to grow to full fruition. And of course, we need both of these energies within ourselves in order to make anything new out in the world. So there is a kind of inherent wholeness inside each of us. But when that realization is obscured from our vision, that is when we falsely seek power outside of ourselves. I cannot be happy until I have this amount of money in the bank. I cannot feel powerful unless I'm subverting the will of others. I cannot feel lovable until I get you to love me. Again, this outward in orientation, this inability to find my own wholeness internally that leads me to become enslaved to people, places, and things outside. And this is something akin to addiction, right? That there's this existential malaise that I'm trying to address, to fix with some substance that I take internally. And of course, it's never enough because it's an inside job. Once I acknowledge my own wholeness, then the bondage is broken. I am no longer enslaving myself to people, places, and things outside. So again, these loose chains are indicative of a kind of inability to see clearly the source of my own power. As soon as I am recognizing that, then I can take real world action to break that bondage and to tear down these old structures that are destroying the planet, that are ruining society. You know, and Tower is a real welcome energy in this spread. You can think of Tower, it's a very Plutonian energy, right? Pluto is the archetype of death and rebirth. Talk about transformation. That is the job of the Pluto archetypal energy. I also associate the Tower with Kali. So Kali is the goddess of creation and destruction. And these energies work hand in hand with one another because the structures that have been built up over time lose their usefulness. They become stagnant, malignant, and they must be destroyed so that we can clear the space for the new higher paradigm to come in. This is a time where old dynasties must fall, and where we have the opportunity to orient ourselves towards a more loving and egalitarian society that serves everyone. This is the time of transformation, and the energy that is malignant can be repurposed after it is dismantled into something that is fluid and whole. So my directive, I guess the message that I'm going to take away from this reading for myself and the one that I offer you is to spend some time this full moon visioning the kind of world that you would most like to live in. One that is predicated on an infinite flow of love that is ultimately available to every living being on this planet. And hold that vision in your mind's eye, even as we see the destruction of these power structures that would seek to do harm. Let the old fall and ring in the new. So many blessings to you on this coming full moon. Take care.